one daughter was about to enter MIT, and the other daughter was about to graduate from Columbia on her way to get a master's and PhD at Berkeley. My two very bright young women were sitting around a Thanksgiving table, and I said, "Do you guys know who Ted Bundy is?" No, no. Serial killer Ted Bundy preyed upon long-haired collegiate girls that kind of look like you. No, never heard of them. And I said, okay, that's interesting. Text some of your friends, and their friends are very bright people. And one person said, "Oh, isn't he a baseball player?" I mean,
Oh
like
my gosh.
my daughter's my daughter's generation had no idea who Ted Bundy is,
Wow.
and the lesson of Ted Bundy, if you could boil it down, is just because someone is charming and good looking and white, it doesn't mean you should just implicitly trust them. And
Right.
so for me, that's reason enough to put that story out for because that was the year also that some young woman got into an Uber and the Uber driver was posing to be an Uber driver and she was murdered. So
Right.
in this
Right.
era of catfishing and people presenting an image of themselves online, which may or may not be true. To me, what better lesson to put out to my daughter's generation than to scare the shit out of them that you shouldn't
Yeah.
just implicitly trust somebody, because that's how those women went to their death. He'd walk into the
Right.
University of Washington library with a fake cast on and a stack of books, and then he'd ask some young unsuspecting woman to help him carry the books to his car, and then he would knock them over the head and kill them. Um,
Wow.
so
Unbelievable. Yeah.
to me, it's a cautionary tale. And the other misconception we have about serial killers, which is why people say, "Well, just don't make films about them." Um, we want to think that serial killers act like serial killers 24/7. That they look creepy, they sound creepy, that they emerge from the shadows with blood dripping from their mouth, and want to feel this way because somehow um, it gives us the false reassurance that you won't become a victim to a serial killer because you can identify them. But the opposite
Right.
is the people who do evil in the world, who are the people you least expect and most often trust, whether it's a priest who commits pedophilia or Bernie Madoff taking Elie Wiesel's money, a guy who survived the Holocaust, or a serial killer. Ted Bundy was beloved by all his friends, and so to me, realistic portrayals of how people operate is important.
Yeah.